Hi everyone, my name is Elaine Chow. I'm the Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultant at Northia Immigration, and today we want to take you on an inside look at how we handle sponsorship applications and give you the best tips. So here we go. We are going to look at Part 1, the eligibility of the applicant. Part 2, the eligibility of the sponsor. Part 3, inside versus outside processing. Part 4, the mandatory documents that you need and the tips to strengthen your profile. Part 5, we are going to talk about the myths about sponsorship applications. Okay, so now we're going to look at the first thing we do as consultants when we take care of sponsorship applications. So the first thing we look at is going to be the eligibility of the applicant and to understand which category of a family member the applicant falls under. So there are 3 types of family members eligible for sponsorship. You have the spouse, where you are legally married, and then you have the common law partnership. So this is determined that when the couple have been residing together consecutively at the same address for 12 consecutive months or more. Finally, the third is the conjugal partner. These are for couples where there are situations that prevent them from residing together and they are separate, but they are in a genuine relationship. So once these 3 types of family members are determined, that will help us understand how to apply for your sponsorship application. We have taken a look at the eligibility requirements for the applicant. Now we take a look at the eligibility requirements for a sponsor. So the first thing the sponsor needs to agree to is the undertaking. The undertaking is like a promise that you are going to be able to support your applicant's basic needs for the duration they are permanent residents. So this takes in effect the day the applicant becomes PR. The other requirements to meet are that you are above the age of 18, that you are a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, or a person registered under the Canadian Indian Act. Then you must be residing in Canada unless you are a Canadian citizen. If you are a Canadian citizen living abroad, you must agree and show that you have the intention to move to Canada when the applicant becomes PR. And the remaining eligibility requirements are related to your background. If you have a criminal history, you cannot be in prison or detained. You cannot be under a bankruptcy charge, and you must not be under a removal order. Now we can talk about the processing of your application. There are 3 options. 1, the In Canada class. This is your application being processed inside Canada. 2 is the family class. This is where your application is processed outside Canada in the visa office of the applicant's home country. And the last category is where the applicant already is inside Canada as a visitor or a student or a worker, and they still want their application to be processed outside of Canada. These are for clients who may want to travel frequently and they do not want to be assessed and questioned where their primary residence is. So the outside process helps that. And secondly, you may want to look at processing times. So selecting the outside process, you may look at your home country's processing time, and if it is less, that may be an option for you. Now that we've talked about the eligibility requirements, we're ready to talk about the mandatory documents that you will need to start gathering. So you have the forms that are going to be completed online on the PR Rep portal, and the document checklist is going to help you understand what documents to gather. So to start, there's always going to be the mandatory civil documents, and it's worth mentioning that you need to have your birth certificate, a valid passport, police certificates for every country the applicant has resided for consecutive 6 months over the age of 18. And we'll also take a look at divorce certificates if they are applicable to both the sponsor and the applicant, and also for birth certificates for children who are applying as dependents. Now, what are the relationship documents? Relationship documents are going to be any official document that shows that your both names are together. So these are what we call the joint documents. Joint official documents include your bank statements, insurance policies, land property ownership documents, or even vehicle property documents. It can also include your joint car insurance. So any official document showing both your names are going to support your application. Then you have individual documents. These are useful when you are residing at the same address. You can support your application by showing a minimum of 1 to 2 individual official documents showing your address. This could be, again, your driver's license, a health card, your individual bank statement, utility bills or telephone bills. These are all useful, and you can select a variation of these documents that show the timeline of your relationship. So what else do we look at to support your application? You have support letters. Support letters are family and friends who can be witnesses to confirm your relationship. And the important part of support letters are to show exact dates and events that your family member or friend has witnessed being together with you as a couple. Finally, we look at relationship photos. While the document checklist says that the maximum number of photos are 20, what I recommend is you can always show a little bit more and ensure that you don't go over 20 pages, but you can copy and paste a few photos into one page. And these are the documents that will help your relationship. Now, if you are finding that it's difficult to show official documents, then you're going to need to think outside of the box. So what we do here at Northia, we think about other documents such as photos of gifts you have bought together. Then you have proof of money transfers. You have other supporting documents like letters and emails written together, screenshots of your text messages. You have social media accounts showing photos of your posts together. All right. All right, so now we have taken a look at the application process for sponsorship applications. And now we're going to talk about the concerns that most clients have, and we will help address them. So these are the myths about spousal sponsorship applications. Our age gap is too big. Our application is going to be refused. The answer is no. Simply having a large age gap is not a reason for refusal. The officer looks at your application as a whole. If you have supporting documents from family and friends, and also documents to support your relationship to show that it's genuine, then your application is not a concern. What needs to be addressed is why there is a big age gap and how you address it as a couple. I need to meet income requirements, and I'm concerned my job doesn't pay enough. This is a myth, guys, because there is no minimum income requirement for the sponsor or the applicant. Of course, it is beneficial to show your financial document to show how you will support your spouse. My family doesn't approve of the relationship, and they don't know about us. So again, this is a myth because we look at the application as a whole, and again, this can be addressed in an explanation letter. What's important is that you have strong documentation to show that you have a genuine relationship. I only need to provide the documents suggested on the document checklist. No, you should always try to ensure that you're supporting your application with a variety of documents for your relationship to strengthen your application and lower the chances of being requested for an interview. I don't need to disclose children from a previous relationship and I can apply for them afterwards. No, this is false. All children from a previous relationship from the applicant's side need to be declared, and they need to go through the medical examination process. If they are not declared properly, they will not be able to apply for sponsorship in the future. I can't sponsor my new spouse until my divorce is finalized. So, in a situation where you are legally separated with your ex-partner and you find yourself with your common law partner and you have been residing together for more than 1 year, if you have been separated for more than 1 year, it is possible to apply for sponsorship. So, if you have any questions about the process of sponsorship applications and you're looking for a professional, please reach out to us. I'm happy to speak with you.